Chatters, chatties, welcome home for a Great American Chat, a podcast where we chat about great American media. I'm Chad Maurice, and I am pleased to have in the house today actress, dancer, star of A Royal Christmas on Ice, Anna Marie Dobbins. Anna Marie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So how excited are you to be part of this year's Great American Christmas?
I'm so excited. It's a new era. I'm hearing amazing things, and what I've seen, all the productions and Christmas films, it's going to be a good year.
Now, before we talk about your film, A Royal Christmas on Ice, I want to talk a little bit about you and your career. Where did you grow up and how did you get into acting?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Alabama. I started acting around the age of 13. I just started locally in Birmingham with just small like commercials and print work, whatever was around, to kind of test the waters and see if I liked it. And I did, apparently. And then I kind of went over to Atlanta, which has a big film market there. So it was about a 2-hour drive. So my parents would drive me over there for auditions. I started booking more and more and more. And I caught the bug, eventually moved out to LA. I've been out here for about 10 years now, and here I am.
Now, did you do theater in high school and college?
I did not. I've never actually done theater, which is
Okay.
some people are like, that's crazy that you're in this world and you've never done theater. I was born and bred a dancer, so I danced my whole life. So that was kind of my stage. I got my stage out of me from that, and then I love the TV film side of acting.
So your mom owns a dance studio, right?
That's right.
She has since she has since you were a kid, right?
Yep. So my whole life, I've been a studio brat. I was raised in a studio. And did all different styles of dance. I went to college for dance.
Right.
Dance, so yeah.
So, but you must have performed on stage doing dances for like dance recitals and things like that.
I got my feel for the stage from dance, not necessarily theater.
Yeah. Now I have to ask, what's your dog's name? I saw a dog pop up earlier.
Yeah, this is Buddy, and I'm petting him. He doesn't bark because I'm sure.
Okay.
A little bit. He wants to be a part.
Yeah, I can see him.
Yes.
So, you went to college? Did you go to college in Alabama?
I did. I went to Birmingham Southern, which was a small private school, and then I did the 4 years there, and then moved out to LA after.
So you got a degree in dance, right?
Yeah.
And then what year did you move to LA?
10 years ago, whatever that year was. I guess like 2012, 2013, around that time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, did you know anyone out in LA before you moved out there?
So I grew up coming out to LA for pilot seasons as a kid when that was a thing. And so I was coming out here in the springtime. So I was really familiar with LA. So moving out wasn't a complete shock. But at that time, I was also coming out every time with my parents. And so, coming out on your own, and having to start from scratch and make your new friends. I knew a couple people, but pretty much started everything from scratch and, slowly built it into be my home. And
now, when you first moved out there, did you have to work survival jobs in order to pay your bills?
I was very fortunate because I did dance. So I was always able to integrate some sort of art into still, performing. So I traveled around the world being a dance choreographer and teacher, teaching master conventions and acting. So I was still always able to do something with the art, if that makes sense.
Okay, I gotcha.
Teach. I'm still very much a part of the studio. I do that all remotely when I can, when I'm on set. Anything from I talk to dance parents, I educate kids if they want to be in this industry. I teach private lessons. So I'm still very much involved in the studio, which is very cool because I can't give it up. It's my life. I've known it forever. So.
Okay, so you're doing some dance coaching. What about do you do acting coaching as well?
I do when I can, when I have time. I'll do everything because the beauty of Zoom nowadays, if COVID brought us anything good, it was that we can do a lot of things virtually. So I was able to do a lot of. I have a lot of kids that I teach acting. Yeah. Via Zoom.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, I know you from all these Lifetime movies. Because I am also a Lifetime movie fan. So we have to talk about Lifetime. Over the past 4 years, you've become like the Lifetime queen.
I've been very busy, very fortunate. Yes.
You have been.
Yeah.
Now, do you prefer the Lifetime thrillers or the romantic dramas?
Oh my goodness. I get this question all the time, and it's so hard to to know. They're so different because I mean, I feel like my two favorite holidays are Halloween and Christmas. So I kind of got to, dabble in both kind of genres.
Okay.
It's hard to say one's my favorite over the other because, but there's something so nostalgic about a Christmas film. Like cuddling up on the couch with some hot chocolate, watching it with your mom or grandma. It just brings back this feeling of when I was growing up and we used to watch all these movies. So kind of being able to participate in that and see the magic of Christmas come to life is really cool.
Now, in these Lifetime movies, do you prefer to play the hero or the villain?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like the villain.
The villain, yeah.
I mean, not every day. I'm not killer. I mean, believe it or not, I don't kill people. So being able to, kind of get into the dark side of like, what would this feel like? Why does the person do it? What's the thought process on why they're doing what they're doing and how they get to that dark place? And, it kind of makes you tap into another part of you that you don't really experience every day. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think the villain would be more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when the Lifetime movies are on, I always live tweet them. Okay. And so one of the guys that are always tweeting during the Lifetime movies on Twitter, his name's Trevor Wells. He told me to ask you, what's your favorite Lifetime movie that you've starred in, or what's your favorite Lifetime movie memory?
Oh, goodness.
You have a favorite?
I'm looking at the ones that you have in front of me.
I know.
The ones you gave me a cheat sheet.
I tried to help you out.
You did. Thank you. Actually, one of the ones that was actually the most challenging, and as you can imagine, was Danger in the Spotlight because I had to be in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Having to maneuver that while you're acting, and there was one scene I remember where she's like really fastly rowing, and we were in this house that had tiny hallways, and it was trying to get down the tiny hallways in a wheelchair and act and be all in it. I mean, just one time I just took the camera out completely. It was so it was just an obstacle just being in a wheelchair, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it was just a challenge. So that one was I thought it was very challenging because it took away one of your body parts that you're not used to using every single day. It's so hard to pick one. I really have been fortunate to have such good castmates and crew on every single one. Some of them are my best friends now. Like in Danger Spotlight, Jessica Morris. We probably have a girls' night once a week when we're both in town. So just being able to build those relationships, it's such a cool industry.
Yeah, whenever I see you or Jessica in the cast list, I always make sure I watch that movie.
Yeah, she's so talented. I love her.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that Stranger in the Spotlight. You played a ballerina in that movie, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So that must have been close to home for you.
It was. So I was able to tap into a lot of, personal life experiences with growing up being a performer. So that was nice to be able to relate those two, because a lot of times you're reaching for stuff like Killer Rivalry was she dealt with volleyball. I was never around volleyball, didn't know. Pom Pom Murders or Ruthless Renegades, I can't remember which one it was. I was a dancer in that, so I got to dance in that too. So sometimes it's nice when paths cross that I'm able to dance and act at the same time. I don't sing, but when I get to dance and act, that's awesome.
You were also a cheerleader too, weren't you, when you were younger?
I did. I cheered. I did competitive cheerleading, and then I cheered in college as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now we have to talk about this movie.
Oh my gosh.
Stopped by My Doctor.
Yes.
Was this your first big made-for-TV movie role that you booked?
That was, yes. Yeah. That was directed by Doug Campbell. He is amazing. He wrote and directed that whole series. But working with Eric Roberts, he really opened the door for me for acting, and so I'm very grateful for that. After this, he was like, "You're a star. Yeah, I think you're amazing." He got me signed with his agency. So he really helped me open a lot of doors. He was just so kind to giving him and his wife. And I've worked with him, I think over the years now, 4 or 5 different times because we worked together. So he really was put out a good word for me. So I'm really fortunate.
Oh, that's cool. I was going to ask you. He's such a creep in these movies. I was going to ask you what he's like in person. So that's cool.
Not at all. Not at all. No, he's so nice and so charming. And because that was one of my first leading roles, he really walked me through every step of the way. He's like, "Do you want to run lines? Let's talk about this and the blocking." because it's a challenging role, as you can imagine, and it being your first leading role. Like there was a lot of things I had to overcome and fears and anxiety I had, and he really just helped you through the whole process, which is amazing. And a lot of, big stars, they don't want to deal with anybody,
Right.
the newbie. They just want you to figure it out and come prepared. He really helped the process.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, didn't you sing and dance in this movie?
I danced.
You danced?
They dubbed me over a voice.
Oh, okay. Because I do remember you singing and dancing. Okay.
Yeah, we had a whole La La Land moment. Yeah, Doug, I remember he asked me one of the very first times we met together. He was like, "Now, do you sing? I want to do a spoof of La La Land." And I said, "No, Doug, I do not." He's like, "Come on, I'm sure you do. You're an actor. You dance. You can sing." And I said, I cannot. And so he was like, "Try for me." And I was like, "I will not. Absolutely will not. I just know I'm not good." We found the dub for me, and they dubbed my voice over. Now, Eric did sing. Eric sang, and we had a lot of dance rehearsals, so that was fun. But singing, not my forte, and I know it. So why try?
Well, that's neat. That's neat that you got to dance in one of these movies anyway.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Now we have to talk about Vivica Fox. You've done several movies with her, a couple Christmas movies and a few Lifetime movies. How did your relationship come about with her?
Yeah, so kind of similar to Eric, when I worked with her the first time, she really took me under her wing. She's been a great mentor to me. We always get together at least once a year for her birthday, sometimes twice a year. She'll invite me to go to a basketball game with her. She's just a great mentor. And I got to work with her, I think, 4 different times, and she's fabulous. I mean, she's done everything, and just to be able to have someone of that kind of caliber under your wing, and like you get to just be like, "What did you think about this? And what's your thought?" And pick things apart. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's talk about A Royal Christmas on Ice.
Yeah.
Explain to me who your character is and what this movie is about.
In a nutshell, so she's an ex-Olympic figure skater who now has moved back home because of an injury, and she started teaching kids locally. And an unbeknown prince comes to town and makes her fall in love with him. And she doesn't know he's a prince. He kind of causes a little bit of ruckus. And her world kind of gets turned upside down in a lot of different ways.
And I'm guessing that she doesn't know that he's a prince, right?
Correct.
That's the way all these royal movies go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. If you knew, I would say absolutely take it away right now. There wouldn't be a movie.
So, of course, he's going to hide it from her, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
I got to work on this one, William Baldwin as well, and he was so fabulous to work with. And
I was going to ask you. You worked with one of the Baldwin brothers, William.
Yeah.
How cool was it to work with him?
So cool. He was actually only on set one day, so we shot all of his scenes in one day, if you can imagine that. Because of his super tight schedule. So we flew in and we shot this in Buffalo, New York. He flew in, we had one day, we whipped out all of his stuff, and then me and Jonathan went to dinner with him that night. And so it was so nice to be able to, step away from work and get to know him a little bit more. And he's so cordial, and we had a great dinner. And it was so wonderful to work with him and get to hear kind of, he's from a really famous family, and he's married to someone really famous, and get to hear like all of those like old Hollywood stories. So cool.
Yeah, those Baldwin brothers, whenever I see them on the screen, I never know who's who. They all look and sound alike to me.
They do. They do. In person, it's the same thing. I don't know. I don't want to slip up the names. So I'm just like, hey,
Yeah. Now, do you skate in this movie?
So I do, minimally.
You do? Okay.
I have a double who does all the fancy tricks for me. So Fred Olin Ray, who's the director of this, he called me up, and when we were talking pre-production, he was like, "Now, do you skate?" And I said, "I can get from point A to point B, but that's about it." And so that's what I did. I got from point A to point B. I busted it a lot of times. We got a lot of it on camera. It's great. I hope they show some bloopers at the end. But some fun stuff is that, like, we were actually skating, and a lot of the stuff we were skating and talking, but the camera, they actually put the camera on the ice and then the cameramen in skates. So everyone was skating around.
Okay.
And so it was really cool to see, everyone take it and actually skate with it.
So the camera's moving with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
praying that I would not run into that camera with some skates on. It was terrifying.
So you did skate a little bit before this movie. You knew how to skate a little bit, right?
Again,
Yeah,
minimally, I could get from
yeah,
point A to point B. And
yeah,
I because I have the dance background, so a lot of the
yeah.
shots we did actually on the ice, but with mats like on it. So I'd be able to be in tennis shoes. So they would shoot
Hmm.
it from half up.
Oh,
So they
okay.
had, yeah, so there's some movie magic for you. They'd shoot from half up, and I would use my arms like I would as a dance.
Uh-huh.
So they could have that. But
Yeah.
my lower body is the double.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, yeah, okay. Now, you see in this picture, you're wearing this little skimpy skating dress. Did you actually wear one of those in the movie, or is that just for this poster?
I do. I actually do
Do
wear
you?
a skating dress. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. There's a whole ending performance where she comes back and makes a comeback. So yeah, she has to be in
Oh,
a
okay.
skating outfit.
Oh, okay. So she's oh, all right. So she's retired during the movie and then comes back at the end, huh? And
Yes.
competes. Oh, nice. Okay, okay. Now the prince in the story, he relocates to a small town in upstate New York. Where does the story actually take place? Did they ever say in the movie where it takes
No,
place?
I don't remember off the top of my head if they gave it a movie name, but we shot it in Buffalo, New York, all around
Ah,
Buffalo.
that was my next question, where it was filmed.
And
Okay.
yeah, so that was my first time actually filming in actual snow. So the other Christmas movies I've done, we filmed them in LA, and it was like the
Uh-huh.
middle of summer and it was hot. But that one, I was like, I'm not
Uh-huh.
pretending. I'm freezing the whole time. I'm in
Oh.
and I'm in Buffalo, New York in February. It's cold.
Ah, that was my next question. What time of year did you film it? So you filmed it in February.
In February, I had so many hand warmers on me, warming coats. It was cold, and I'm from the South and live in LA,
Uh-huh.
so cold
Yeah.
is not a thing for me.
So that's cool. You had real snow instead of the fake stuff. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it was real, all real. Uh-huh.
So was that the first time you'd ever been to upstate New York?
That was. I mean, I've been to New York City, but
Yeah.
upstate New York, yes, that was
Hmm.
the first time. I actually have a lot of good friends that live in LA that are from Buffalo. So believe it
Oh.
or not, I'm a
Oh.
Buffalo Bills honoree fan. So yeah, because in South we don't have a pro team, so ours is Alabama football, Roll Tide, and
Hmm.
yeah, so I have always adopted the Buffalo Bills because of my good friends. So when I went up there, I was like, "Go Bills!" to everyone. I felt like a local.
That's neat. Now your co-star, Jonathan Stoddard. Did you know each other before filming this?
We didn't. We actually met
No?
the first day on set. Yeah.
First day on set. Wow. Now, how difficult is it to create chemistry with someone that you've never worked with before?
Thankfully, I've never had an issue. All of my co-stars have been super lovely and collaborative to work with. I could see where it could be challenging if you don't have rehearsal days, and because
Hmm.
this was still kind of the height of COVID when we shot this, we weren't allowed to have a lot of rehearsals and like close contact beforehand. So we had to do everything, pretty much day of.
Okay.
But Jonathan's wonderful. He's a lovely soul, and so he was very collaborative. We did a lot of rehearsals before we would go out, and actually do it in front of the camera. And he just has such a gentle soul, so it just made it that much easier.
Okay. Okay. I was going to ask if you've ever been in a situation that even though you liked your screen partner, you just couldn't create that spark that good chemistry has. Have you ever been in that situation?
I mean, there's definitely been some that have not been real sparks,
Hmm.
but I think I've been able to pull it off for the camera, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. your acting pulled it off.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, there's definitely people that that you feel like they're brothers to you or they're friends, but you got to find that on-screen romance. But I feel like that's your job at the end of the day is to find something to bring that spark. But it could be challenging for sure.
Now this is this the third Christmas movie that you've done?
This is the third.
The
Yes.
third one. Do you enjoy doing the Christmas movies? I think you said it earlier that you like doing them.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I love them. God, it's just one of my favorite times of year. And then when we were shooting it, like in that actual snow, so it just felt like a real white Christmas when we were shooting it. Even though it was after Christmas, it was in February. But I never get to have a white Christmas. So getting to be up there and then everything's, they dressed everything with lights and trees and you're in fur coats and it's just so magical. It's just so fun.
Now I have some social media questions because I asked people on social media if they had any questions for you.
Okay.
So I have a friend, her name's Vicky. I'm sure she's going to be watching this or listening to this because she is a former competitive figure skater.
Okay.
And she lives over in Europe. She skated for Team Austria when she was competing.
Yeah.
And she wanted to know if you had a skating double, which you mentioned earlier that you did.
Yes.
So she wanted to know about that and where the skating double came from and who it was.
It was actually because I'm very short in stature, so she was a student in high school. But she was so amazing. I mean, she travels and competes in figure skating all over the world. She was wonderful. I mean, I was just sitting in the audience watching, and I was just like, how does she do half the stuff that she does? And she's like, oh, it's no big deal. And she's like 17. And I'm like, cool, no big deal. It's like, you're amazing. So she was actually locally from Buffalo. They just, because I guess, it's a big deal. They have a lot of ice and ice rinks. So they were able to find someone local that was able to pull it off, and she did. She's fabulous.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Now Vicky she also wanted to know what you felt like when you were wearing the skimpy little skating dress. She wanted to know if you were uncomfortable or not because you've never worn one before.
Well, because I'm a dancer, so it's really traditional with like a leotard. So it felt really similar to growing up, with the leotard and tights. So I didn't feel super uncomfortable. There's actually a funny story with that costume, and I'll tell it briefly. So because we were in COVID times, I don't know if you guys know that on set, we didn't usually have our wardrobe girls wouldn't travel with us on set. So we would get ready in the mornings. They would send us with all of our changes. And so it was up to the actors to dress themselves, right? You would think would be, okay. Film the whole movie, second to last day. My personal assistant comes over and she's like, I got some BTS photos. Do you want to see them? I'm like, yeah, of course. Send them to me. So she sends them to me. I'm scrolling through. I look. Chad, I had the costume on backwards. The whole movie. Easter egg, guys, you can find. No one noticed because I was always in a warming coat until the last second. I would take it off and go do whatever and come back. So nobody noticed that it was on backwards. So now the whole movie, we had to keep it backwards. So the skate double wears it backwards. I had it on backwards. So there you go, Vicky. This is a not professional skater, not knowing how to dress herself. You don't know how to put on a leotard.
They didn't reshoot any of the scenes?
No, because it was the second to last day. We had shot almost the whole movie.
Oh wow.
Yes, but so you'll see, and maybe everyone feels sorry for me, okay? If you look at it, you'll see it's just I thought it was a V-neck leotard. I thought it was a V-neck. Apparently the V goes to the back. So yes, that's a funny for everyone to watch out for. Yes, Anna Marie Dobbins does not know how to put on a leotard.
Wow, that's cool. V-neck in the back. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so off of Instagram here, Jan Mathis wanted to know if you had to learn to skate for this role, which sounds like you didn't because you already knew how to skate a little bit. But you didn't have to work with a skating coach, right?
There was a coach on set that did help me, with little things, getting from here to there, or how to do a little spin, like basic, very basic stuff. So she would help me with that on set. And then prior to, I think I had 2 or 3 weeks of prep. So I was able to, there's a couple skating rinks here in LA. So I went to those and just kind of got my feet wet again with how to go. But yeah, I did have a coach on set that helped me, which was nice, and a double.
Okay. Now, Lori wants to know if your dancing background helped you with the skating scenes, which I'm sure they probably did, right?
They did. So they call everything very differently, which is what the coach, informed me of. We would call it a pirouette turn. I can't remember the exact term, but they would call it spin differently. And in dance, you would spot a spin, meaning like your head would go around faster than your body. It's called spotting. Well, in skating, you don't spot. So there was a lot of stuff that was similar but different. And so she had to be like, no, don't do this. That's dancer. Dancer does that. Skater does this. So she was able to help me work through those moments. But I think because I had the dance background, I knew how to hold my core. I knew how to use my arms when I needed to. So a lot of it helped.
Yeah. All right. Lauren Prickett wants to know, what made you want to take on this role? What interests you in it?
I mean, honestly, I think what we kind of talked about it is the Christmas. I love
The
Christmas.
Christmas.
I loved, it's your classic fairy tale. Girl falls
Hmm.
in love with prince. Like this is what
Hmm.
every girl dreams of when they're younger. So it was just
Yeah.
kind of that nostalgic feeling. It sounded fun. It was shot up in Buffalo. Like it just
Hmm.
all felt right.
Hmm. Now, did you have to audition for this?
This one I did not. I have worked with this production company a couple different times, so they were familiar with my work. So that this one was an offer,
Okay.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah.
thankful for.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's because I had worked with them before. The very first time I did, I had an audition for them.
Hmm. Are you still having to audition for Lifetime movies, or do they just cast you?
Those they thankfully just cast me now.
Do they? Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Because
I
you.
paid my dues.
Yeah. You've done so many of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Amelia Dennis wants to know what the challenges of this role were. I imagine skating is probably one of them.
The skating,
Yeah.
skating and talking and acting and all the things that was one, and then shooting in the cold.
Shooting
That
in the
was
cold. Yeah.
that was the one day that we shot all scenes outside. It was like in the negatives that day with the wind chill.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah.
And me and Jonathan, we had a lot of talking, and our lips just froze. Like we just could
Uh-huh.
not move. So we had to go inside and like de-thaw and come out. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Buffalo in February is not pretty.
It
Yeah.
was cold. And it was after
Yeah.
they had all that snow. There was a big blizzard or something that just went through. So there was a ton.
Yeah.
Which was good for the movie.
Yeah. Now, Lori, I think it's Roberson or Robertson. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. She wants to know what your favorite scene was to shoot.
Oh, my favorite scene. I would say probably the ending. They call it the ice parade. Because I got to actually do some of the dancing and ice skating together. So that was fun, getting to learn a couple of basic tricks I was able to integrate with the double, and then watching the double be me, making me look all cool on screen. That was so fun. All the ice skating stuff, just because it's something, you're adding another layer to acting. You're having to skate with the acting. So doing all of that was fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, last one of the social media questions here. Jay Bracken wants to know, how do you get into the Christmas frame of mind when you're shooting these movies in the summer, like the other Christmas movies that you did?
Oh, that. How do I get Christmas? Think cold.
Think cold.
Think you're freezing. No, I think it helps get into the frame of mind when you show up to set and it's decorated, and then you just automatically your wardrobe is Christmassy. The set's all decorated.
Yeah.
You're talking about stuff. You're drinking hot cocoa. All of those things that help you get into it. Because it's challenging saying, "Oh my gosh, it's freezing out," and it's 1,000 degrees in LA. So
now, were the other Christmas movies you did, were they filmed in LA or Canada?
LA. The
LA?
other two were LA. Yep.
Okay. And all the Lifetime movies that you do, are they usually filmed in LA or Canada?
I haven't done any in Canada. They've been actually all over the U.S. So some have been LA, some Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Florida. So, so all over.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting because a lot of movies are filmed up in Canada. I'm surprised you haven't gone up there to film anything.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those that I just did was all during COVID as well. So I think crossing the border.
Yeah. You couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of it we didn't even film in LA because there was a lot more challenges filming in LA during COVID. They had a lot more restrictions. So we filmed a lot out of, Oklahoma, like I said, Texas, Arkansas, because they had a very more lenient.
All right. Now, let's talk about acting here. What is a role that you auditioned for that you didn't book, that you're just bummed that you didn't book it?
Oh, goodness.
Is there one that's, there's a lot?
There's a lot. That's something I feel like people don't realize with the acting world is you're going to get way more no's than you're going to get yeses. I would say, but so it's hard to say. There's one that got away, and I can't say the show because of an NDA, but the reason I didn't get it is because I didn't have the girl that got it had a bigger social media following, which is
that sucks. Come on. Really?
I know. Such a frustrating thing for me because I believe that it should come down to the acting more than social media, but I get why, from a business side, why they want that. But yeah, so it can just come down to that. And then another time was I didn't look enough like the mom that they cast. They really wanted this mom,
Oh,
specific lady, and I didn't look enough like her, so they went with another young lady. So that one, I mean, both times were thankfully not because of my acting. So, you know, those are things you can't really control.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
do what you can.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right.
Yeah.
Who's the person that has had the biggest impact on your career? Is there one that stands out in your mind?
I mean, I'm going to give you the generic answer because I
Okay.
truly feel it. It's my parents.
Okay.
They were the ones that they both came from an artistic. My mom was a dancer. My dad was a drummer. So they both came from an artistic background, and so they were
Mhm.
very encouraging for me for this. I know a lot of friends who are in this industry that don't have the support at home, telling them to stay out there, keep doing it. You're doing great. You know, it just takes time, blah, 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 to get to where I am. And I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have my parents like constantly like reassuring you. Cause this industry is tough.
Oh, yeah.
It can wear you down really quick.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say my biggest support would be my family and their push to really keep me out here.
I'm surprised that you've never done musicals, because musicals, that's all about dancing. Of course, there's singing involved too.
Yes,
yeah.
I love hey, don't get me wrong, I love musicals. Like Wicked, one of my favorites, Lion King, great. They would never cast me because I can't sing. Yeah. So
I'm surprised. Did you ever take singing vocal lessons when you were younger?
Oh,
you did? Oh, okay.
I tried. Yeah,
you tried?
Yeah. I really wanted that triple threat, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to know when to take your loss, and that is a loss for me.
Okay. So you mentioned some of the favorite movies that you've been in. What's your favorite movie that you've ever seen?
Oh man.
Do you have a favorite?
Favorite movie ever? Oh gosh, I think it depends on like the genre too. I love a good psychological thriller. Any sort of psychological thriller. I mean, I say this one because it's Halloween. It was just Halloween, and it's on my mind. Is the Saw series? Excuse me. I love the Saw series. Because they're all psychological thrillers. So any sort of psychological thriller, I love it. God, my favorite movie of all time. You know, I'm gonna say this one because I can put this one on 1,000 times and it won't get old. Is Devil Wears Prada.
Oh yeah, okay.
That one's always a good. I'm on the plane. I don't know what else to watch. I have it saved on my iPad. I'll watch Devil Wears Prada. So that's always a good go-to. That's not the deepest film, but that's one that's, you know, you can play 1,000 times, which I'd say is a winner, because sometimes you can only watch a film one time and whoo, it's too much. You can't do it again, you know? So
do you have a favorite TV series?
TV series. Well, I just watched Dahmer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one got me. My boyfriend and I, we just binged the whole thing really quickly because it was just that good. We just couldn't turn it off. So again, anything like murder, mystery, psychological thriller, TV, I love it, or The Haunting of Hill House, like that type of.
Oh yeah. Geez, no wonder you're in all these Lifetime movies. That's your niche. You like that kind of stuff.
I love it.
So, do you prefer watching movies or TV series?
I think it depends on my mood, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love going to a movie.
Yeah,
like going to the theater, getting popcorn, Raisinets, and a Dr. Pepper, and good to go. I try to go to a movie, if not once a week, every other week, just because, for one, to support it, because I really want theaters to stay open. They're really having a hard time, so to support them and to go, but also it just is a moment for you to shut off everything and just get zoned in. It also keeps you inspired. I'm like, oh, there's a new actress I haven't seen before. So
would you like to do a feature film and be on that movie screen someday?
Oh yeah. Okay. I was in I did Footloose. I've done a couple of
that's right. You were in that. That's right.
Yeah.
You must have danced in Footloose, obviously. You had to.
I did.
Yeah. That was the one. Was that the one with the woman that used to be on Dancing with the Stars?
Julianne Hough.
Yeah. Okay, I saw that one.
That was her. Kenny Wormwald was the lead in that one. Dennis Quaid, Amy McDowell, like a lot of big people. So that was super fun set. That was actually shot in Atlanta, so I was still living in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
I was in college, and I went over to Atlanta to shoot that one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun talking with you. A Royal Christmas on Ice premieres this Saturday, November 5th at 8 o'clock Eastern on Great American Family. Drop your social media handles so people can follow your career.
Yeah, on Instagram, it's just my name, Anna Marie Dobbins. And I think Facebook, I think it's the same thing. So those are the two main ones that I really stick to. So
Instagram and Facebook?
Instagram and Facebook.
You don't use Twitter? You don't use Twitter a lot?
I really don't. I never really got into Twitter. I have one, but I don't really tweet or whatever they call it. And then TikTok, never really got into that as well. It's too much. It's too overwhelming for me to have too many different platforms. So
you'd be huge on TikTok, dancing. Yeah.
I post all on Instagram, so it's all there. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being here, Anna Marie. This was fun for me because I've been a fan of yours for several years.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So that's why I reached out for you. As soon as I heard that you were going to be in a Great American Family movie, I'm like, oh, I got to talk with her.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm so excited to chat with you and get to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time. And thank you, chatters, for being here. And until next time, you keep the faith, keep smiling, keep your friends close, and keep your Great American Family closer.